Hi, this is Dr. Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm in Chicago at the Search Engine Strategies Conference with Bryan Eisenberg, an expert in conversion, getting sales online. You're doing a seminar here at the conference on 21 secrets of top converting websites. What are some of the most important secrets among those 21?
So I'll give a quick 3 ones are really important. Number one, they do a great job at communicating their unique value propositions, or what I call their unique campaign propositions. When a visitor comes to your website, within the first few seconds, they got to figure out, do I want to do business with you? And why am I going to do business with you versus one of your competitors? And so anything you can do to communicate what you do. And I showed examples from like VitaCost that people can take a look at, examples from GoToMeeting or MailChimp or LL Bean. Right, that explain real quickly, once you land on the page, you know, we've had over 10 million orders, low price shipping, whatever it is, and just communicate that.
Is that assuming they go to the home page first?
No, this has to be communicated on every single page on the website, every single landing page.
So if they land on an internal page or product page, you got to communicate your value proposition there.
Correct. So it usually wants to be somewhere in the header of the site, so that way it's really communicated. You know, almost like a tagline. But taglines used to be, from a concept of marketing, a way to grab people's attention that they remember you by. Here, you've got to actually communicate a reason to buy from you.
Okay. And so many companies assume that you know what they do, but you've got to tell them, and tell them in such a way they want to explore further.
Exactly.
So what's another tip for top converting websites?
So I think one of the other tips that I like to see a lot of people focus on is being data driven. So unfortunately, I see a lot of companies, you know, they've now started using things like Google Analytics or Yahoo Analytics, or, you know, if they have more money for things like Omniture and stuff like that. And they get these reports and they look at them and say, oh, that's wonderful, put it away. They don't really do anything with it. And what I've learned is that companies have become really successful. They actually make decisions based on these metrics. So it's not only getting the reports, but it's once you get these reports, what do you do with it? And so what I highly suggest everybody do is make a to-do list. And literally every week or every month, depending on your organization, say, okay, these are the things I would like to improve. These are the things, this is how I'm thinking of improving them. These are things I want to experiment with. Maybe I saw a really cool idea of steal a day that eBags is doing. And I think that's a great idea. Can I go do that? And say, okay, that's a great idea. And then list what efforts you've been doing that are working well and which ones are not working well, and reduce those. And just knock them off.
So if you're an owner or a manager and you get this report from your IT department or maybe your website guy, do you ask that person to make suggestions when they give you the report, or talk with you about how do you get this kind of stuff?
Yeah, so what I like to do is come up with
rather than just, you know, well, here's a report to look at, an initial, and put in the outbasket.
Right.
But so how do you engage this?
So what I like to do is get the report with the list of all the different things that we think that we can improve this month, right? And so we have a landing page that has a very high bounce rate. We have our shopping cart, people are falling off at the billing page. Great.
So you're asking the person that gives you the report to highlight the things they're seeing. You're forcing them to do analysis.
That's the first part. They have to do that first part of analysis. And it doesn't have to be super sophisticated, but it has to be enough to say, I'm going to do something with it, rather than just looking at the numbers and saying, okay, that's great. Because if you're forced to come up with a to-do list, you'll actually come up with one, right? It's one of the responsibilities. And then what we'd like to do is sit with the team to look at the to-do list and come up with ideas of how we'd like to improve it. And then what we'll actually do is sit and prioritize it. And I think that's one of the critical parts. Prioritize it based on what resources it would take to actually get that recommendation done, and then what kind of impact we think it might have on the business.
Okay, those are 2 tips. You have one more for us?
You know, I think a lot of people really don't understand how much social commerce has had an impact on business. And what I mean by social commerce is, you know, it's not just using Twitter and Facebook pages and fan pages and all of that. It's leveraging the voice of the customer in your business, from rewriting your product descriptions using the voice of the customer, to rethinking your categorization based on how customers have it, to showing reviews and ratings on your category pages, to, if you're a lead generation site, scanning letters of recommendations and putting it on your page and highlighting what the key quotes are. Because people can say things about you that you can't say about yourself, or your products. And so it's really a great advantage to be able to leverage those things and get great results with them.
The voice of the customer.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing with us. Tell me about you and what you're doing these days.
Ralph, so you know, I've written several books, Always Be Testing, Call to satisfaction waiting for cat to bark. I am now working on a new one called Trim the Fat. No pun intended, since April I've lost 60 pounds, and I've learned a lot of the same things that makes a company successful are the same thing it takes to lose and weight and keep healthy.
All right, thanks for sharing with us. This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.